Our next cut is the chiffonade of basil. Chiffonade in French means fine ribbons or thin ribbons. These are fresh basil leaves that we grow here in our facility, in our hydroponics garden. The first thing to do with these, pick them. You want to pick them as close to cutting time as possible. So try not to pick them too early in the morning. Yeah, right before you go in, you can pick these. The trick with this is you're going to need to orient them all in the same direction, meaning root end and tip end, top to bottom. Okay. And you notice I'm stacking them so that they all face the same direction. Again, this is another technique that requires you to use a very sharp knife, because not only does the sharp knife produce a quality product, but it produces a product that holds. And what I mean by holding is green leafy vegetables tend to bruise. So if you use a dull knife on this, when you slice through, even though what you might have looks good, it'll start to turn black on you because you bruise the cell walls and it's damaged and it'll start to blacken. A sharp knife pierces through only the cell walls that it comes into contact with. So after you chiffonade this, and the same thing holds true for like say a green onion, when you chop green onions. A nice, good, sharp knife slicing through green onions will yield you a product that will stay crisp and green for multiple days. When I slice this with a sharp knife, it'll stay green for 3-4 days. If I slice it with a very dull knife, even though what I have initially is a product that I can work with, within hours, if I look at the contact point where the knife actually cut the chiffonade, you'll start to see it turn black on you. Okay, so I've had a nice roll. I'm going to roll it up, very similar to like rolling like a cigarette or rolling a tight bundle here. And now it's going to be the thinnest little chiffonades as possible, thin little ribbons. This requires a little bit of practice because now you're going to need to be moving your hand as you're cutting, watching those fingertips. You're going to want to make sure you're cutting all the way through your product so that you have separation between the leaves. You don't want to have leaves that are stuck together. And as I get close to the end, I'm going to probably stop a little bit so that I get rid of those roots, because I don't want a lot of hard root product in there. Not really usable for stock. Basil is more of an herb that goes in right at the finishing part because it'll lose its color and it tends to lose its flavor really quickly. So now what I have here are a chiffonade of basil, thin little ribbons that are fairly uniform in thickness. I'm going through, before I present to the judges, I'm going to spend a little time just kind of go through. Does it look like it's all separating? Yes, it does. Okay.